All right, so I definitely wanted to talk a little bit about the fact that you're the only woman on the council. In fact, on your inauguration day, we had a picture of the 9 of you lined up and posted on Twitter, and someone responded, #TooManyMen. In a county that is as progressive as Montgomery County, it seems as though a failure in that women just don't seem to have made it to the county council now. We've added women to the House of Delegates. I don't think there was a change in the state Senate. The entire school board is women. Mm-hmm. But so many services are decided by the county council that it would seem as though cutting the number of women on the council in half, essentially, in this last election seems ridiculous, considering that a dozen qualified women ran for the at-large position and couldn't break through. Is it a glass ceiling? I don't know. What is wrong?
We should have an entire podcast dedicated to this conversation. When I ran in 2008, I was one woman running. I think there were like 8 men. And in 2009, I was the one woman running against also about 8 or 9 men. So I'm very familiar with the barriers that exist for women to, number one, step up. Just doing that, it's not an easy thing to do. But then once you step up, to be taken seriously and also to tap into the infrastructure needed to run very competitive campaigns. Now, what I've said already also publicly is that, I lost in 2008 and I ran again in 2009. And so my message to the very qualified women that ran this time is to, lace up their running shoes and right now start running for 2022, because there will be openings coming up on the county council, and that is something that you must do. But it is true that we have to also take a step back and understand that the barriers do exist. And I'll be completely honest, as I said earlier, was born in Venezuela. It's a Latin American country. I'm the oldest of 4 siblings, 3 girls, 1 boy. My father actually was quite a feminist. I didn't realize that until I grew up, in terms of how he laid it out for me that I could do whatever I wanted. So I never saw the world from that lens until I think it became so apparent once I got into politics. And even now, serving on the county council for all these years, I told the joke about, being on the receiving line at the ball and the husband of a very prominent leader in the county mistaking me for George Leventhal's wife, people mistaking me for Mike Knapp's staffer. And I mean, there are so many stories, or me putting forth certain proposals and then having male colleagues co-opt those proposals and put them forth as if they're their own, and the media covering my male colleagues. If I had to probably do some kind of analysis, it would be very apparent that time and time again, it's as if I don't exist, or I'm only described as a leader for the immigrant community or minorities community when I've been chairing the Government Operations and Fiscal Policy Committee, when I have been really involved in a lot of different policy areas. And so the glass ceiling per se doesn't stop at being elected. It's about really blazing that trail and just occupying this space that I hope will begin to chip away at what is implicit bias against women being in leadership positions. And I say that again as somebody who didn't come into this with that lens, but I have experienced it firsthand. So I think we need to take a look and examine our choices. And I'm hoping that 2022 will be a different story for sure. And so, I'm very open and transparent, and I always share my experiences. And I've mentored many young women, including many through my office, giving them opportunities to be in this space. But we do need to do more.